Welcome back, everybody, to the World of Wraith YouTube channel. Got with you guys a quick market watch. First things first, we're almost at 1,000, so shout out every single one of you subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below. I read all your comments. I often get a good laugh out of them, so I appreciate you guys. Without further ado, let's get into the market watch. Never financial advice. And Rangers are looking kind of crazy right now. There's no real Rangers in the meta. All the Rangers are AFK. Azalea left. We got Riptide and we have Marlin. And they're both not really doing much. Riptide Marble, well, we got one for like 84, 85. Then he goes to pretty much 100. Let's see if there's any sales on this actually. Yes, sold for about 80 or so nothing crazy here. Then we got the Marlin Marble, 120, 130. Not doing a lot in the meta. Got some sales, nothing really. Yeah, Rangers are looking down bad, but in turn, a lot of their Majestics are pretty good price wise. Return Fire, don't know if it'll see play in the future or anytime soon, but the card is so cheap right now. I think it's a pretty good pickup, especially if you're a Ranger player. I mean, this card has the potential to be a one card 7. Pretty crazy, about $2 right now for the non-foil. Barbed Barrage, about $5-6. Rainbow foil, it's about 7. I don't know. This card seems so cheap to me. When I see Majestics this cheap, I just often think like, wow, this is like a good time to pick it up. I mean, it's a 1 for 5, which is nothing crazy, but being able to hit an additional target, I don't think there's any other card that does that right now. So this being able to like hit a ALS and your opponent, or maybe a chum and your opponent. Of course, you need to do like 1 damage to chum if you're trying to kill it with this, but something pretty interesting, and I can definitely see this going up. I think High Seas has pretty much been opened. I don't know if we're getting a re-wave. I don't think so. So I definitely think it's a good time to pick up the Ranger Majestics from the set. Chain Reaction, I think this was close to like $10 before High Seas got announced. I'm sure you can do some like tricky, cool plays with like this and one of a kind. So I think the card has a lot of potential. I just think right now it's not seeing play. But again, a Majestic, it's about $2 pretty much, slowly going to 3. Not a lot of sales. Looks like some rainbow foils sold. But I think the card has a lot of potential, and right now Ranger isn't seeing much play, but I think if someone cracks something, it could be great. Intoxicating Shot, the Riptide Specialization, about $5. I think this was, yeah, look at this. This was pretty crazy at some points. Right now it's pretty down low, but Riptide's constantly getting support on these expansion slots. So if you ever have the interest of playing Riptide, this card was like pretty expensive at one point, so $5 is not too bad. Let's actually check the rainbow foil real quick. Yeah, rainbow foil about $9, slowly going to 10. Plan for the worst, another pretty crazy Majestic for Rangers. They just have so many Majestics that I think are pretty good. They're just not seeing play, so they're super cheap right now. Look at your target hero hand, arsenal. Beginning of their end phase, discard all cards and destroy their arsenal. Search 3 traps, reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle 2 cards from your hand into your deck. So it's pretty crazy. It's like I think it's it's like an inertia, but even better because it actually destroys them. And this doesn't have to hit; you just kind of cast it. So it's pretty interesting. It also just lets you put 3 traps into your hand, and you can shuffle 2 cards, so you don't have to shuffle like the 2 traps. You probably will, but you know, you can just add 3 traps to your hand. So this is pretty crazy. Murky Water, again, like $2-3. Rainbow foils $3, and here's one for 5, another one for 5. I think this one's actually pretty good. If it has an aim counter, it gets dominate. When it hits, banish 3 face down traps from your graveyard and choose one at random, put it in your arsenal. So this is like a 2 for 6. It can be 2 for 7, or Maybe putting the aim counter will cost you one usually. So it can be like a 3 for 7, but with an on hit to get a trap in your arsenal, pretty good. Pretty cheap right now. Melting Point, this is 50 cents with shipping. It's basically $2, but you know, if you can get more things in your cart. This is the only card that I think can destroy a one-handed weapon, or maybe just destroy a weapon in general, but when this hits a hero, destroy a one-handed weapon you control, and it's a +4 pump. It is 1 for 4, but destroying a weapon can be pretty interesting. Maybe not too much versus like decks that have re-equip, but if you think of someone like Iroh with their Kodachis, if you destroy their Kodachis and they're not playing any of those re-equip cards, this can be huge. Long Draw Half Club. I think it's just good against Warmongers. Rangers struggle against Warmongers, and this is super cheap. New Horizon was like about 150 before high seas. Don't get me wrong, this is still a pretty crazy price. Cold foil for 117. This is not too bad though. But it has been going down a lot. I don't know if the new Rangers are gonna play it. But if you ever wanted one and you didn't want to pay like the 150 crazy price that it was at, right now it's not a bad time. Let's see if any have been selling. They've been selling for about the price they're listed as. But I have heard, even when High Seas came out, some people were saying Skullbone Crowstrap is better for Marlin than New Horizons. So even if you want to pick up this, you know, it's not a bad time. About $30, $31. Let's see the OG. 38, 39, 40. So I would probably spend a couple extra bucks getting the rainbow foil from Arcane Rising. Yeah, for legendaries, this is like, it's not super cheap, but I think it's like a good price. And I definitely think it'll be used in the future. Ancestral Harmony 25. This went back up. I know Zen usually had it around this price. Zen went to LL and it went down. And I think there's been a lot of Katsu hype, so this is just back up to 25. Rainbow Foil is 26, 28. Let's see if there's a lot of sales. Not too many crazy sales. The rainbow foils and the non-foils are pretty close to each other. I'd probably bite the bullet. Just get the rainbow foils. Ancestral Empowerment. All the ancestral cards going up. Or as one of my friends likes to say, Katsu smoking the J. About 18 bucks. Yeah, this is just one of those little tricky things ninjas can do. And then the history pack, about the same price. So I'd probably get the Welcome to Wraith one. Usually history pack supposed to be cheaper, but it's clearly not. Arachne Marble, Arachne Huntsman, I should say, because there's like 1,000 Arachnes. It's sold out. I don't know if people delisted it or what. The last one was a couple days ago. But yeah, I mean, if you want to list up your Arachne Marble, you can set the price. There's none on the market. A lot of marbles have been moving, guys. Brier Marble, same thing. I think these did sell. 150, yeah. Don't think they were delisted. I think these did sell. I think it's just, I don't know about Arachne, but I think Brier could be LL hype. Kasai, one listing, 250. So these marbles are moving. Kasai is getting new cards, so, and she's been doing pretty well in this season right now. Unsheath, about 18 bucks. Slowly going to 20. Let's see. Been selling a little bit here. She has a solid matchup into Assassins, and then I think against Gravy she can just play a Raise an Army plan, so she can kind of tackle the meta in her own way. Blown in her hands, about pretty much 10 bucks. A good amount of rainbow foils on the first page, so you might just want to get the rainbow foils. Raise an Army, this is super cheap for Majestic, about 4 bucks. Let's see, there's no real playsets you can get from here, but still a great card. I think usually she only runs 2, and this might even be sided out against a couple of matchups. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a Kasai main, but it's pretty cheap for a Majestic. The extended art though is pretty much 50 bucks. I think this was like a calling promo, I believe. Yeah, pretty crazy, but it looks awesome. 50 bucks is kind of crazy, especially compared to the 3 bucks. But if you want a max rarity or Kasai deck, it is there. Fearless Confrontation. Just taking a look back at the Guardian pack, the generics. I think we should keep a close eye on them. Don't know if they'll get reprinted anytime soon, so this might be the only way to get these generics. Fearless was about 30 last time we saw it. Went pretty much almost half the price. It's sticking around 17.64 sold. I think it's a mainstay in gravy because it can be a complete blowout. But I thought it was gonna stick around 30. I'm very surprised to see it go down. So I always tell you guys, make your own choices. If you didn't buy them and you waited, like now's a way better time to buy them. Wizard Shop can give you a whole playset. So Captain of the Guard. This I thought was kind of bad, and the more I read it, the more I'm like, okay, maybe this has potential. While defending card with power greater than the attack they are defending, it gets +1. Even though it blocks 2, can essentially block 3 if you're blocking like maybe against like ninjas or assassins where they normally have like base 3 attack. I'm trying to think of what other classes have like low to the ground attacks like that. But it can block 3 and it can give your other cards more blocking power, especially if they have like high attack. So I think Guardians and Brutes could potentially use this. $6. The only reason why I'm going over these are generic, guys. Generics from Flesh and Blood tend to just go up. Call for Backup, another generic. It's a popper, about $10. I'm not like rushing to get this, but I do think it's worth picking up and just having it in your collection. Base of the Mountain. This is too high in my opinion. Maybe it's because it's in a pretty iffy set, but yeah, I don't know. I would not be paying 70 for it. One sale, so actually has some more sales. I think it's one recent sale, but I would wait for this to come down. I mean, I could see it getting to like 50, but like I always tell you guys, make your own choices. Testament of Valhall. This was like 100. Going down to like pretty much 80 after these sell. Rock, I think it was like at 120. It's going back down. People are trying to move them, which is good. Don't know if I would pay. This is pretty much 90. I don't know if I would pay 90 for a marble rock, but you know, you do you. It's better than 120. The Nonfoil, just about $5. So I think this is where it's gonna stay at. Rainbow foil about 6. So maybe it's worth snagging these up if you don't have your own copies. And then Whaitler, I think this was like at $20 maybe a month ago. Now we see it at 5. So Whaitler, some of the gravy stuff is getting pretty cheap. So some like chum are still expensive, but you know, if you're slowly picking out the deck, it's not a bad time to get your Whalers. Hunter's Clave, I'm glad this finally had an impact on the market. About 30, going to 32. Yeah, I think they put in this in Gem Pack 2 just to give the weapon a reprint. But it was the reverse side, so regardless, it added more supply to the market, making the card overall easier to get to a certain degree. The regular Hunter's Clave about 40, slowly going to 45. I think pretty much most Assassin players have a copy of their own, so I think these copies hopefully should go down. If you don't have yours, it might not be a bad time to pick it up. Last but not least, Truce, about $8. I think at one point this was way higher, yeah, like 12. It's just a generic, pretty good defensive option. And as always, I just advocate for getting generics, just having them in your collection, because there's certain metas where they just come up and they're pretty powerful, and then there's sometimes where they just stay in your binder at home. But $8 for Truce, not bad. We also have the extended R for 80. Then going up to 110 after these sell. Can't really recommend getting this, but the regular non-foil, you know, it is a pretty good generic. Alright, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments down below. Are you going to get the generics from the Guardian Mastery Pack, or are you just going to let them go by? You're not really worried about them. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.